So Violet Evergarden episode 2 just came out, and I find it's actually a really awesome episode. Some people find it to be really boring, lifeless, and just slow paced in general. But there's something I find really interesting in this episode, especially not the main character, but a character called Erica. Now, a lot of people put stuff on Reddit talking about how good it is, like how this episode has really talked about Violet and her robotic nature. But there's something I really want to say is that nothing really much has been talked on Erica, and I find it's really such a shame that nobody actually mentioned her. So I really want to make this video so you guys can understand more of Erica's character development, so you guys can enjoy more and understand this whole episode a lot better. I think Erica resembles human nature a lot. She resembles how humans are like when we're in this environment, a certain like stress that actually triggers us to act according a certain way. And like, if you want to find out more, you guys stay tuned to this video and I'll explain to you guys what I mean. And trust me, you won't regret it. Hey, what up guys, my name is Jake and watching Once Upon a Church, where I review an anime called Violet Evergarden, and it's such an awesome anime of 2018. In this video, I want to show you guys what it is that Erica is about. If you subscribe to this channel, I like to show you guys anime reviews, especially on Netflix, which are really awesome. And also how behind the scenes, where you can see what it's like to do YouTube videos, and also like show you what my life is like outside of YouTube. If you haven't seen my other video already on episode 1, definitely click on one of the tags right here, which I put on top of this video. Alright, let's get this started! In episode 2, the anime actually expanded from the novel and decided to do a side story on like a certain character inside, and this character is called Erica. Erica is a doll herself. She's fairly experienced in the company, but not like too experienced to say she's really good. She's like an average worker. Initially in the anime, it's been emphasized that it is not easy to become a doll. Even if you're like an emotional person and not like Violet, who is like a robot and like android or something like that, it is really hard to become an auto memory doll. And throughout the episode, you can tell that there is a hierarchy among the three: Erica, Catalea, Iris. Between Erica and Catalea is actually a lot better at writing novels, especially like a lot of people would find her and like use her as her primary source of writing letters, rather than Erica and Iris, which are also there to help. Erica kind of sets this division among them, where Catalea is like really good, but Erica's only like this good. She's not as good as Catalea. I'm sensing a slight jealousy, especially Iris, who is a little bit jealous in there as well, but also how Erica is actually really doubting her abilities. Her skills and talent isn't as good. You can sort of tell that she kind of loses her purpose over time of being a doll. Basically, she thinks she's bad at her job and she's unqualified. Okay, at the end of her work, she's always passing by this shop, and in the shop there's always this doll, and there's some typing, there's some books there that she's always looking at, although it doesn't tell the specific details initially. And the end of the episode, it really reveals what she is, why she is doing what she's doing, and why she's looking at the shop all the time. The original creator of the typer, which is in the shop, was Dr. Orlan, and his wife was on the doll which he made for her. And that's what inspired her to become a doll herself. But don't worry, I'll explain the details later, and it all ties in together. Trust me, don't skip this video, especially this part. Okay, now let's go back to Violet so I can explain how this is all going to tie in together. Violet really resembles a doll, as her face is literally plain and literally is emotionless in this whole video. At the start, Violet is a really good typer. She has a really good skill. She took off her gloves, and as soon as she started typing, she got really good and she was typing really fast and loud. But as soon as they found out that she has robotic arms, everyone was like, oh, what happened to her? And that's what got Erica curious about what happened to her arm and why she's being a doll in this company. Since Violet doesn't have much emotion, she was curious to see like how is she gonna do well in this, and why does she want to be a doll? And the basic requirement to be a doll is to have a certain emotion that you can write down in your letters. So when you write letters, people can feel what you're writing. So for certain, Erica and Violet and everybody else knows that Violet isn't exactly qualified to write emotional letters. And since Erica has a slight loss of her purpose as well, she was curious to see what her purpose was, what Violet's purpose was to start writing letters. It was the last raining scene in this episode which changed Erica's perspective and actually made her think about what happened before and her initial inspiration from the doll. Here's the best part, definitely listen up, okay? At the scene where it was raining outside and they were talking to each other outside unnecessarily in the rain, Violet explains why she wants to be a doll. She wants to be a doll because she wants to understand what it means to be loved, to be in love with someone. Violet was blinded from love. She was striving to understand the meaning of love, and because she lived in the military so long, she just couldn't understand this basic principle. And this is what provokes Erica to think back to the original creator Orlan and his wife Molly. Violet is like Dr. Orlan's wife. Violet can't write well because she's emotionless, and in the same way, in a similar way, Orlan's wife is blinded, so she can't write well. Orlan was inspired to make a typewriter for his blind wife to help her, and also in a way, Erica wants to use the typewriter to help others. Do you see this resemblance right here? The story of Orlan actually inspired Erica to become a great doll, to be a person to write amazing letters for everyone. But over time, Erica was discouraged and was blinded to the fact that she was bad, she lacked skill, and people just hated her skills. She wasn't good enough. And it was because of Violet's strive for love that actually reminded her of what it is, why did she even start being a doll herself. And that's why I love this episode, is because it relates to human nature a lot. And when we're at work, we often are discouraged by the things we lack. We often lack maybe skill or maybe time to do stuff, or we're just not good enough and we get scolded by a boss, schoolmates, or just anyone in general. And it's because of this criticism that we often lose our spark and why we want to do this job. This reflects really well on human nature. This episode really reminds people of what we intended to do at first, that we should forget the haters and remind ourselves why we started to do our job in the first place. I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode, because I did, and it just reminds me that why I started a YouTube channel, why I'm doing the things that I am doing right now. And definitely write down in comments below, what do you think of this episode? What do you think of Erica and Violet, what their character development is like? This is gonna be the end of this video. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, so you don't miss anything. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next episode, okay? See ya!